and welcome back to my probably last episode of Agents of SMERSH. The location track is already at 3, so one more step and we would be able to reveal the secret headquarters of Dr. Lobo. And so far he hasn't moved yet, so if he moves one step we are okay, because we know for a fact we already have one weapons intel. So better hope he's not moving too fast, because already with the second step he would require 2 of those weapons, and I simply don't know what's behind those. So I was really incredibly lucky in respect getting those more rare intel tokens, but you also need those blue ones in order to win, so you cannot overcommit in order to achieve your goal. Okay, but I think let's get started. And Agent Nika Shizuka here is pretty much in the middle of nowhere, at least in respect to intel. So I think I wanted to spend yet another UN transport token and basically move her back to the civilization. And it's either Cairo or Athens. And I think I will move her to Cairo because Cairo still has an open airport. I will definitely trade in this intel token for yet another location token. Let's see where this one goes, and that's in Warsaw, not too far from us. That's actually not bad at all, so someone would be able to make it there hopefully sometime soon. And yeah, then let's move into the encounter. And wow, here we are in a call to action card. We have to conduct a battle, and here I'm really not sure if I want to do that, because whatever we do, the guy will just get stronger afterwards. So I think in this case, I really want to take 1 injury to escape and immediately draw a new encounter card. And this is what I will do. So I will give her a wound. She's now at 2, but she can take up to 4. I really don't want to level up any of those baddies out there, those henchmen. So let's draw an additional card, and that's doppelgangers. And yeah, it's a response group B, which she knows pretty well already, and I'm tempted to go for something different now. Maybe let's go for impress, and again hoping for our seduction to kick in. Has to work at some point in time. So yeah, though it's 33-1. Here is our fate card. We had an intel 33-1 and 3. You are escorted by a tall, thin man down a hallway and into the office of a corrupt lawyer named Noah Zimmerman. He looks up at you, impressed. Mr. Gaunt tells me that you and an agent met an untimely death. I hope it was staged to look like suicide. Actually, no, you say, peeling off your latex mask. But guess what your death is going to look like. Test hand-to-hand, -1. We can pass it with lock, picking, or speed. Of course, we have neither of those. Really not lucky with those advanced skills here. But test hand-to-hand, -1 should be okay. Because not only have we upgraded this, I think we can also discard our watch status here to really roll all dice in a hand to test tail. We just failed. So, but let's build our die pool first, or dice pool first. And as it's a -1, we only get to draw 1 more die. Again, that's the black die. Okay, that's pretty awesome, to be honest. So let's roll those dice. I think I will not spend any resolve. That's a hit. Cool. We get 1 injury, which is okay for her, because she can take up to 4 or pretty much 3 before she is defeated. So we are good, but what's more important, we passed that test. And here I'm not complaining. The thin man behind you snaps like a twig, and you heave Zimmerman out of the window. Behind the picture on his wall is a safe. Flip up 1 intel in the pool. How cool is that? And I think I would simply go for the top one here. That's the blue one. Okay, even if he makes it 2 more steps or 3 more steps, we should be pretty much good to go. That was a pretty amazing encounter for her, but I really think she needs to rest next. And yeah, and she also has to resolve her end of turn event. And here we have Peru's new president replaces entire cabinet with SMERSH appointees. Okay, we would remove intel from South America. That's okay, we don't have anything there. And we would add intel to New York in Agadez, and London would close. And that's a pity, because we will run into an intel overflow. We have 4, we will add 2 more. So 1 goes to New York, 1 goes to London. Now we are at 6, and 5 is the maximum we can have on the board at any time. And this means we have to remove all of the intel back to the pool, which is really a bummer. But the good thing is we can keep this location token here. The excess of 1 we would have to give back as well, but for 1 we are doing okay. We still have to close London though. This may be a long shot, to be honest, but I'm really thinking of moving Dexter Kane with an UN transport token to Warsaw. It has a close airport, so getting there is relatively difficult. But on the other hand, Nika could move there, but she has to rest first. And this is really something I don't want her to suffer now. So why not? He still has 1 UN transport token. So we will spend it, move him here to Warsaw. So let's see who the baddie is. And again, we have to deal with Pierre, which is bad news because he's our only level 3 henchman out now. So we really just have lost this encounter, not the game, of course. But yeah, maybe I was too cocky here. As we now have to test Deception -2 to give Pierre a solid piece of your mind. Kind of good thing is we have increased Deception to 2, so we go down to a 0. But this also means we can now spend 1 resolve in order to get at least 1 draw, and he can spend a second resolve to reroll a die, but it's still a long shot. So let's see what die we draw, and that's the blue one, and a blue is only, the Arkham Horror die. So yeah, we cannot do anything about it, so let's roll those 2 dice. We still have 1 more reroll, which is okay. This is now getting serious. So we can spend our last resolve, and I think this is what I want to do to reroll the blue die. Now again, we have a 30% or 33% chance to make it, and no, we don't. Oh gosh. Now I'm rolling like I'm used to. And that's especially nasty because we get 1 injury, which is fine, but we would lose all of my advanced skills. Wow, this really hurts. So here's our injury. There go our advanced skills. And yeah, of course, we still have to draw our first villain advancement card here. World enters 2nd grade depression. That's 2. We would place this right next to Dr. Lobo's track because there are some ways to get rid of those cards, but for now we have to keep it where it is. And yeah, this means he will move 1, 2 spaces ahead. Right now we are still okay, but the problem is there is no intel on the board whatsoever. And unfortunately, this guy is shuffled right back into the pile of location tokens, which I will do off camera. And man, this was really a mighty blow. We are not done yet. We still have to draw our end of turn event. And this looks familiar, but I haven't reshuffled the villain advancement deck or the villain deck yet. Sterilization drug found in China's water supply. Maybe it was somewhere else before. We cannot remove anything, but we can add something to Lagos, which again is a closed airport. And on top of this, we have to close Mumbai. Over to Snowcat. She will simply rest, which means we can move 2 of her wound tokens. Then we move right back into the villain phase. And again, we have to resolve 2 of those. Here we have to remove intel from Europe. That's okay. We would add intel to New Orleans, like this, and no airport will close for this card at least. But as we have 1 more, we're pretty sure we will close 1. Yes, we will close 1. We would move intel from Asia, still okay. We add intel to Rio de Janeiro and Panama City, which is okay, but still very far from us. And we have to close the current city. That's really bad news. We have to get to a working airport, and so Cerberus will move to Moscow. The good thing about Moscow is it has a red airport. Red airports never close in this game. So yeah, let's simply move him here. Let's do a standard encounter, and it still counts for Asia if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's the case. Impossible mission, response group E. And the main problem is we are out of advanced skills. So really losing against Pierre was one of the worst things that could happen, to be honest. And yeah, take charge. I'd rather be lucky. Unorthodox, frightened, joke, trust no one. Again, I will go with trust no one and really hope for my deception or spycraft here. So it's 6. Let's see what card we get. We had no intel this time. So it's 38, 6 and 2. Agent 64T is very surprised to see you. In one hand he holds a champagne bottle, in the other a girl who invites you to the party. You didn't come for the party, you came for revenge. Agent 64T is working for SMERSH, and last week he sent you into Gobi Desert to destroy something that didn't exist. You weren't supposed to survive. Surprised to see me. Test hand-to-hand +1 we would pass with speed. Okay, we don't have to look at all on those advanced skills and at all. Good thing is we get 2 dice now because our hand-to-hand is a 1. We are out of resolve, so we don't get to reroll anything. But let's see what dice we will roll. That's a red. Oh, that's only 1 success here. We have to keep on drawing in this case. Oof, that's really a lame one. And that's the black one. I will definitely buy this for $1. And yeah, let's see. Awesome. That's the 1 success we needed. And it seems we stun Agent 64T. The girl screams and runs out. I didn't find the weapon you sent me to destroy, you tell him. But I did find out that you were a double agent. So that's all good. You arrange his face before turning him in. 1 intel. That's okay. Yeah, I was really hoping for an advanced skill or so. But of course, I will not complain about this one either. Let's have a look at our end of turn event. AP Press front page article reads, are these the end times? We would remove intel from North America, that's New Orleans. We add intel to Macau, so we are basically doing a switch. And we would close the current city, which is cool because it's Moscow. Moscow never closes. So let's do the swap here. And actually, I don't really care. So we remove this from North America, and we'll simply add this here to Macau. I didn't see this, so it doesn't really matter. Over to Nika Shizuka. She will move 1, 2 spaces. I think she will not spend a resolve to move to Lagos. I think we really need to be able to reroll some dice when we face our next henchman or so. So yeah, let's simply go for another encounter there without intel. Risky dead drop. Response group E. And I guess I will go with Joke. Again, relying on her seduction advanced skill here. So it's 32-5. Let's draw a card without any intel, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and that's the 2. And again, we are not lucky here. This is no joke, Agent. A dirty bomb is being assembled in this city. We spent a year tracking it down and time is running short. I insist that you take this matter seriously. The director has been a real grouch lately, but since the matter is urgent, you plan to intercept a drop site where bomb materials have been delivered at intervals during this past year. This will divulge to the enemy that the UN is investigating, so you have the 1 shot to capture the persons responsible. So we would test spygraph, we could pass with electronics or lockpicking. Of course, we have neither of those, but this is now basically the director directly talking to us. And I think this is one of those occasions we can use our trusted agent status because he was really directly talking to us. So we can reroll a single die if we are failing here, which is of course awesome. But let's build our dice pool first. We are allowed to draw 1 because our spygraph is only 1. That's the green die with 3 successes. I think I will not spend a resolve right now because I can reroll a single die because of the trusted agent, and I can still spend a resolve to reroll it another time. I hope I can do that. So yeah, let's see what comes out of this. That's a fail. I will now use my trusted agent ability to reroll the green die, which is now an injury, and this definitely sucks. And I think I will spend 1 resolve. I really hope I can reroll a die a second time, but I'm not spending 2 resolve, so I think I should be good. Let's reroll it again, and this time we get the success. Pretty sure you will let me know if I'm cheating here, but I feel that's fine. And here we see you follow a man who receives a small container of chemicals and returns to his apartment. Next time he leaves, you bug his home and listen in. Okay, we can now save the day, so pretty much a status card or a UN transport token. Let's have a look at the status card first. And in theory, this is a pretty cool card. You have a knack for coming up in the final hour with a crazy plan that works. We could discard this on any player's turn to prevent a villain advancement card from being drawn, which is cool. But instead, I would take 2 injuries. If it would be 1 injury, I think I would keep it. But I think in this case, a UN transport token might be more valuable. as we really have to start moving. So I will give her a second UN transport token, and yeah, I will be pretty happy about this encounter. Then it's the end of turn event. Soviets sent thousands of tourists into forced labor camps. Okay, we would remove intel from the USSR. We don't have anyone. We would add intel to the Indian Ocean, which is still fine. Yeah, this brings us to 4. And we would close any city in North America. We get to choose. First, let's put the intel to the Indian Ocean, and then I guess we want to close down Los Angeles for now. Wow, this really starts to hurt. So I think it's good we went for another UN transport token. Over to Dexter Kane. He is on Moscow, and I think he wants to fly to Rio de Janeiro right now because there is an intel token and we need a new location token on the board. So let's bring him here. Let's remove this one. I shuffle those location tokens. Here's the new one. Let's see where he goes. He goes to Mexico City, which is okay because Mexico has an airport, at least right now still has an airport. But of course we still have to have an encounter here, and that's take a chance. Again, response group E. And to be honest, I think I want to stick to trust no one here. I think this makes sense because it's deception, persuasion or spycraft. I think they make sense for all of his skills there. So yeah, let's go for it. So it's 21, 6, and we had intel there. It's 5. That's another tough one. The injury you received on your last mission must surely have healed by now, but the doctor is refusing to let you leave the hospital. You overhear her talking on the telephone and you're convinced that she's deliberately keeping you in. That night, you pull the drip out of your arm and sneak into the doctor's office. We have to test spycraft -2, which is really a bummer because we only have a 2, so we don't get any extra die and we are out of resolve whatsoever. So the yellow die it is. Now things start to look a little bit uglier than the rounds or videos before, and wow, that's an injury. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it. I will give him the injury pretty much off camera right now. I think that's the first fail effect we are about to read now, and that's bad. You make it halfway down the corridor when you feel a stabbing pain in your stomach. You collapse on the floor, coughing up blood. Looks like you've landed yourself an even longer stay in the hospital. We gain an additional injury, which brings it now to 3. The good thing is we get rid of those tokens, but we get a next villain advancement card here, wanting to increase size of army and short on cash. Egypt sells the Pyramid of Giza to Dr. Lobo. Okay, that's only one. The problem is we have to draw a second one because we also failed the encounter here. And that's yet another one here. SMERSH buys the BBC, cancel all comedy programming. Oh, that's a bummer. So in total, Dr. Lobo is moving 2 more spaces, and this happens right now when you start to think that this game is actually boring, right? No, it's not. Let me assure you this. Okay, and then we are still not done as we have to resolve our end of turn event. Usually Princess Anne to marry Dr. Lobo. We would remove intel from Africa, which is a pity. We had intel in Lagos, so let's remove it. And we have to close the airport of Silung, which is up here, and slowly but steadily I really think we are running out of those airport closing tokens. Okay, that was the round. I think, yeah, let's do one more. And again, we start with Snowcat. She will spend the UN transport token she just got. And I think, yeah, let's move her to Mexico City. Let's reveal the location token there. And here we have Agent Darling, I believe. Okay, I think that's the first time we really have to engage her, if I'm not mistaken. And the problem is we have to test Persuasion -1. That's one of her weak spots. We only have a 1, so we don't get a bonus die. We have to convince Darling to call off her thugs and face you 1-on-1. I think I really have to spend 1 resolve in order to draw an extra die out of the bag. The good thing is she still has the cool agent, which allows her to basically re-roll a single die in a persuasion test, which we are doing right now. Wow, that's pretty cool. But before we do that, we want to have a look at our villain advancement card, which is 2 because of the wedge dodge. I think this is something I again forgot once or twice at least, so I will discard this one as it shows it 2. And now we want to resolve the encounter, pretty much the combat. So yeah, let's see what die we are rolling, and that's the red one. I think the red is not bad. I was hoping for the black one, but yeah, let's roll those dice. Anyway, yes, we heal and we succeeded, which is excellent. Because we still get our intel, we will level her up to level 3. That's cool. Here is the extra intel, but what's really more important is that we have moved our location track to the space where 2 players would actually end the game. And actually I'm not quite sure in respect to timing if I would get the bonuses here first, so let's just consider I have not done this, but it doesn't really matter at this point in time. We would flip over all of the intel tokens in our pool. We will compare it with the requirements on the Dr. Lobo track. So here is our weapons, here is our tech, and here is our double agent, which means we have just won the game. How cool is that, guys? Really awesome experience. I really enjoyed this playthrough quite a bit. And it really seems I may have found the game I'm able to win on camera, even though the last video or this current video really looked pretty grim. All of a sudden things went wrong left and right, but luckily I was kind of lucky in this case that I was not facing Pierre again with a deception -2. She would not have stood any chance against him, for example. So here we were really extremely lucky. It was not her best skill, but I'm not complaining about this anyway. So yeah, really a great experience. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it too. My next playthrough will be War of the Worlds, the England version of the game. I shared this news already with some of my Patreon patrons, so again, nudge nudge, check out my little campaign. You will definitely find a link in the description of this video. I think there's an eye sometime during this video which will pull up. Really appreciate your support, guys, and yeah, hope to see you soon in one of my other videos, and until then, bye bye.